Born in one of the dreaded slums of Nairobi, Raphael Obonyo has risen above his background.
My parents could not afford, in fact, my parents could not afford taking me to high school. It was such a painful thing, and I had to find my way to high school, through well wishes and support from different people. So when I finished high school, there's no way they were going to even think of supporting me to do any course.
He faced all manner of challenges at Korogosho slums, but today his achievements have seen him sit among the advisors to the United Nations Youth Secretariat. Having worked at different levels with youth initiatives in Africa, Europe, Asia and America, he tells of the challenges facing the youth globally.
People in Korogosho, people in poverty-stricken areas like Korogosho are marginalized by the mainstream system, by the system. But even within the community itself, then young people are further marginalized. And they're characterized, they're labeled in such a way. If you come from Korogosho, if you're a young person, then you're a thug. If you're not, then you're an exception. And so no one wants to really have you within. They treat you so cautiously.
Raphael is however aggrieved that up to date the youths are still not consulted, yet they remain the most innovative and creative in steering development. The disbursement structure of the Ways of Fund is just an example that the Youth Congress convener Raphael Obonyo is not happy with.
Youth are not so much considered. They're marginalized both in terms of decision making, in terms of prioritization when it comes to their needs. Look at the budgetary concern. Now we're talking about Youth Fund being allocated about the Ways of Fund 7 billion out of 600 and something billions. We only give 6 billions to youth empowerment, yet unemployment rate in this country is about 40%. And 75% of young people who are supposed to be working are not working. We only allocate 6 billions. Compare that to the budgetary allocations that we give. Even police, we are employing more police. We are giving police better equipment than what we are putting into issues of youth employment. Yet we know very well if we tackle youth employment, then issues of insecurity will not be as much, So I think in terms of prioritization, we've not been able to get a proper formula of making sure that we deal and address the concerns of the youth.
On the outskirts of Nairobi, we find a young lady at the age of 21, and for the last 16 years she has lived in Nairobi. But this has not left her out in impacting the youth back at home.
Thank you, welcome.
Thank you. Born in South Sudan but had to flee the war.
Yes, I'd like to go back to my country and help it develop because you're behind. Due to the war, most of us are scattered, and right now we're just trying to start from scratch.
Doris Pony is currently a fourth-year student at the Catholic University in Nairobi in the Faculty of Law. But every day she ponders on youths back in South Sudan. Her impact is being felt back home through articles that she writes for New Times, a mainstream newspaper in South Sudan.
So yeah, I write articles for a newspaper in Sudan. It's called New Times, and they publish weekly. So I have my own column. I started it to just advise young people, write about my personal experience in Kenya, and I'm speaking for all those South Sudanese who are outside, scattered, and their experiences in other countries.
For Doris, youth have the greatest potential, especially in developing countries like South Sudan.
Job opportunities, there's plenty of work to be done. With most of our people are not educated, sadly, but we're trying to educate our youth and even elderly people. There's adult literacy. So we're trying to increase the level of literacy. So as youth who have studied outside or who have education, there's no way you can miss a job in South Sudan. Yeah, that's the opportunity. And you can bring up so many ideas. We need a lot of work to be done in South Sudan. So I think the youth, any South Sudanese youth out there cannot miss a job in Juba.
We also get to meet 30-year-old Kubwimana Beruste from Rwanda.
Me personally, with my personal experience in East Africa, I would say Kenya is the America of East Africa because everyone wants to come to Kenya to achieve our personal goals. I would say to all youth, if we want to achieve something, we don't have to stay here. we have to open ourselves to where the opportunities are. So I would say Kenyans youth, if they see you cannot achieve your goal here in Nairobi, move, go somewhere else. The ways are open for you. If you want to achieve something, be open. We are now living in the 21st century. If you say you are close to your home, I think you will know little more than a person who go out to search more.
It has been 3 years since he set foot in Kenya, and having worked in more than 6 countries, he tells of the advantages of youth migration.
You know, when you talk about the migration, it's really the best I can say. It's a double score, because when we migrate, there is like we impact our lives in 2 options. When we come for working, which give us money, so the money we send back to our families. It economically empower our community where we originate, and also professionally we are impacting the community we are living in. So we would say migration, it's supporting the development both for hosting a nation and the nation where we come from.
Though youth unemployment still stands, the young generation is encouraged to come up and make use of existing channels, and where none presents, then these should be used as avenues of challenging the society and the government. Having talked to our 3 different youths, one from South Sudan, the other one from Kenya, and the other one from Rwanda, one issue that comes out is that the youth have the greatest opportunity, but the issue of depending on others, and especially the government, is a stumbling block to the way forward. Henry Maina, GBS News.